As I imagine you're aware, the World Cup is less than a week away, and in my Milan save, which you can find up here somewhere, we have got to the stage where it is time for the 2022 World Cup. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just have a bit of a Football Manager Predicts style video of who they think is going to win the World Cup. So how this is going to work, I'll come back after each match day of the group stage, and then we'll come back after each round of the knockout round and see what the situation is, who's qualified, who's not qualified, who's playing well, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, some of the team selections are going to be a bit different to what they are in real life. So I know Fikayo Tomori's been called up to England, whereas in real life he hasn't. But we'll just have to take that with a pinch of salt. There's nothing really that we can do about that. So without any further ado, let's see what's happened in the first game of the group stage. So the first group games are in the bag, so we'll go through each group individually and see what has happened. So you can see here, Ecuador currently top of the group. They smashed Qatar by 3-0. A man who's in his late 30s, Noboa, apparently, never heard of him, but he got a brace and they are currently top of the group. A group where you would have expected it to be between Senegal and Netherlands, and they actually faced each other in the first group game. Netherlands coming away with the win, narrowly 1-0. Senegal down to 10 men for the last 5 minutes. But yeah, interesting. It'd be interesting to see how Ecuador do against Senegal and the Netherlands, because they could actually sneak qualification here. Group B, obviously England's group. England had no trouble beating Iran 5-0. Harry Kane grabbing himself a hat-trick. And then in the other game, Wales and the USA drew 0-0. US had a slightly better XG, so probably should have won it, but it's still very open in this group. I would have thought England and United States would have been the two favourites to go through from this one, but we'll just have to wait and see. In Group C, Argentina got off to a winning start, just about. It took them a long time. It was quite a level game in terms of XG. They're both just around the 1 mark. Julian Alvarez, the man to give Argentina the win. And then Poland won the other game against Saudi Arabia. Szymanski and Lanetti getting the goals there. So Poland actually top of this group. It's a tight group to choose from. I would have said anyone but Saudi Arabia could get qualification from this group, so we'll see. Top of Group D, France, obviously they smashed Tunisia 4-0. Tunisia going down to 10 men at one point as well. And then in the other game, Australia actually managed to hold Denmark to a 0-0 draw, which means they currently occupy second in the group. And it'll be interesting to see how Australia do against Tunisia, because they could be in a pole position to get qualification after earning a surprise point against Denmark. In Group E, Spain top of the group, but there was no surprises in this group. Spain beating Costa Rica by 5-0. And then Germany winning their game against Japan by 2-0. So the two teams you would expect to qualify from this group are currently in the qualification spots. However, Group F is where there were some surprises. It was draws across the board. Croatia only managing a draw against Canada, 2-2 draw. Canada completely outplayed. Croatia's XG was so much higher. I think it was like 2 to Canada's just under 1. But they managed to get a point. So a surprising result in that one. And then in the Belgium-Morocco game, Morocco held on beautifully to a 1-1 draw with Belgium. So this group is still wide open. Obviously, Croatia and Belgium would have been the two teams you'd expect to qualify from it, but we just don't know what's going to happen now. In Group G, no surprises as to who tops the group. It's Brazil. They beat Switzerland 3-1. Serbia are the other team that are in the qualification places at the moment. They beat Cameroon by 2-0. And then in Group H, we had a couple of surprises. So Portugal actually lost their game against Ghana. Fena Guian, who's a Cremonese striker, managed to get himself a brace and send Ghana to the top of their group. A very surprising result there. And then in the other game, Uruguay could only manage a 1-1 draw with South Korea. It was very late on when South Korea got their equaliser in second half stoppage time after Uruguay had been dropped down to 10 men. But this group could be a surprising one. So just before we head off to after the second round of group games, let's take a quick look at how individual players have been doing. So Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe are the two leaders in the top goal scorer chart, with Felix Afena-Gyan just behind them in third. Kyle Walker and Kylian Mbappe have the joint highest rating of 10. Kyle Walker's got the most assists with 2. There'll be tons of players that are on 1 assist, so we'll not bother going through all of those. And same with player of the match and clean sheets and yellow cards. So let's come back for the second round of group games and see if anything has changed. So the second group games have now happened, and we'll start off with Group A. It seems a sensible place to start. So in the first game, Ecuador and Senegal. Senegal beat Ecuador by 2-1, but the 39-year-old Ecuadorian Noboa got on the score sheet once again. Senegal getting their first win, which lifts them up to third. So they're level on points now with Ecuador. And then in the other game, Netherlands battered Qatar by 5-1. Gakpo getting a hat-trick in that one. So Netherlands are currently top, but they haven't confirmed the qualification just yet because the other two sides can catch up to them. In Group B, there was a bit of a shocker to start with. So England lost 2-1 to the USA. Mason Mount getting sent off after Phil Foden had put them 1-0 up, and then McKennie and Ferreira turning the game around. USA currently occupy the second spot in the group, and it's Wales that are currently top. They beat Iran by 2-1. It's still very open, this group. Everyone apart from Iran can qualify. England, I think they'll be facing Wales in the last game, so whoever wins that will be joining the USA, I would imagine, in the next round. Group C also still wide open. Argentina picking up a 2-0 win over Saudi Arabia. Angel Di Maria getting a brace in that game. And then Poland and Mexico playing out a 5-goal classic. Mexico coming back from behind twice, and then finally getting the winning goal thanks to Raul Jimenez, who actually scored a brace in that game. Lewandowski getting a brace for Poland as well. But that doesn't mean that Mexico are in and occupying a qualifying place. It's currently Argentina and Poland that are in those spots, but Mexico are level on points with Poland, so still all to play for in that group, apart from for Saudi Arabia. Now we get on to the first team that's actually qualified for the knockout rounds, and it is the World Cup holders, France. So they managed to beat Denmark by 3-0 in their second group game. So it's not looking good for Denmark. They're currently bottom of the group on 1 point, but they can still qualify from the group. Tunisia picked up a 1-0 win over Australia in the other group game. So France are through, we know that, but it is going to be between Tunisia, Australia and Denmark for who's going to qualify. Australia have the tough tie of facing France in the last group game, so it's probably more than likely going to be between Tunisia and Denmark for that final qualification spot, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. And one of those stranger things actually came in at Group E. So we'll start with Germany. They're currently top of the group. They're on 6 points. They're 100% record. They beat Costa Rica 2-0. But the reason that they haven't confirmed their qualification yet is because Spain lost to Japan. They lost 1-0 thanks to Celtic's Furuhashi scoring the only goal of that game. So Japan are level on points with Spain. Germany and Spain occupying the qualification spots. I think Costa Rica can still maybe qualify because they can still get to 3 points. So again, very open. In Group F, Belgium got off to a winning start. They got their first win of the group stage, beating Canada by 4-1. They did go a goal down, but immediately replied thanks to Leandro Trossard, and they currently top the group, 2 points clear of second place Croatia, who could only manage a 0-0 draw against Morocco. So any of the 4 teams could still qualify from this one. Belgium and Croatia face each other in the last group game, so it's more than likely that one of them will miss out on qualification. In Group G, Brazil are top of the group. They came from behind to beat Cameroon by 3-2 thanks to goals from Vinicius Jr., Gabriel Jesus and Neymar. In the other game, Switzerland beat Serbia by 2-0 to mean that there's currently 2 teams on 3 points and obviously Brazil on 6 points, so still all to play for in this Group 2. And then in Group H, Ghana still top of the group, but they could only manage a 1-1 draw with third place currently Uruguay, whereas Portugal picked up their first win of the group stage, absolutely battering South Korea by 4-0. Ruben Diaz getting the opening goal and then Cristiano Ronaldo scoring a hat-trick. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the final group games, but we will take a quick look at how the players are doing. So in the goal scorer market, Kylian Mbappe leads the way with 4 goals. And then in second place, we've got a joint second place between Cody Gakpo of the Netherlands, Harry Kane of England, Cristiano Ronaldo and Christian Noboa, who have all got 3 goals. Mbappe also leads the way in terms of average rating. Kyle Walker second, and then Denzel Dumfries of the Netherlands in third. And in assists, there's a lot of people on 2 assists. You can see them all there. The final group games have now happened, and we know who is going to be qualifying for the first knockout round of the World Cup. We'll start with Group A, where Netherlands and Ecuador occupied the top 2 places heading into the final group game. But as you can see, it's actually Netherlands and Senegal that have qualified. Senegal beating Qatar by 2-0 and Ecuador losing by 2-1 to the Netherlands. Steven Berghuis brace getting Netherlands qualification with a 100% record. In Group B, we knew the USA were pretty much guaranteed to be qualifying because they were facing Iran in their final group game and they beat them 4-0. But the other game, Whoever won that was going to qualify from Group B, and it was England that won. They won 3-0. Ward-Prowse, Kane and Calvert-Lewin getting the goals. So unfortunately, Wales miss out. Iran, obviously, we knew we were going to miss out. So US and England, the two qualifiers from that group. And then we get to the curious case of Group C and Argentina. So Mexico beat Saudi Arabia 4-0. To be expected, that meant Mexico qualified. But then Argentina lost 1-0 to Poland thanks to a Robert Lewandowski penalty. And that meant that Poland replaced Argentina as the other qualifying team. So Argentina are out of the World Cup. That's the biggest shock that we've seen so far. Mexico and Poland making it through to knockout rounds. In Group D, I said there was pretty much no chance that Australia were going to get qualification because they would need to beat France. They didn't beat France, but they gave it a good go. They finished 0-0 in that game. France played a very rotated side. No Mbappe playing in that one. And then Denmark, who were bottom of the group heading into this final group game, they managed to beat Tunisia by 3-1 and sealed their place in the knockout round. And after a bit of a scare for Spain in the second round of group games, losing to Japan, they managed to beat Germany by 2-1 thanks to goals from Ansu Fati and Soler. Goretzka getting Germany's one goal and confirmed their place into the knockout round. Germany also went through to the knockout round on goal difference as Japan only managed a 1-goal victory over Costa Rica. In Group F, we kind of knew that the game between Belgium and Croatia was going to be a case of whoever won that would qualify and whoever lost wouldn't, and that was the case. Belgium were the victors. They won 3-2 with goals from Boyata, Hazard and Lukaku. Croatia having goals from Rebic and Levaya, but not enough in a 3-2 defeat. They finished third in the group. Morocco lost narrowly to Canada by 1-0. If Morocco had won, they would have actually qualified instead of Canada, but it was David that got the goal for Canada. So Belgium and Canada through to the knockout round. In Group G, the top two stayed the same from the end of the second round of group games to the end of this one. Brazil beating Serbia by 2-0 thanks to goals from Jesus and Neymar, and then Switzerland picking up a 2-1 victory over Cameroon. And in the final group, it was Ghana and Portugal who would be celebrating their access or their passage through to the knockout round, as Ghana beat South Korea by 4-1 and Portugal beat Uruguay, smashed Uruguay 5-0, meaning those two are in the knockout round too. And speaking of the knockout rounds, this is who will play who in the second round of the World Cup. So we've got Netherlands against England, Denmark, Mexico, Senegal, United States, France, Poland, Canada, Spain, Brazil, Portugal, Germany, Belgium, and Switzerland, Ghana. We've got a few tasty games in there. Brazil, Portugal, especially. Germany, Belgium looks like a decent one as well. Netherlands, England will be too, but we've also got a few that could have a shock, or at least one that could have a shock, I'd say. Canada against Spain. Can Canada shock the Spanish Giants? Well, we'll find out in a second. I nearly forgot to check the player stats. So you can see Ronaldo is currently leading the top goal scorer charts with 5 goals. Harry Kane and Mbappe are both on 4. In average rating, Ronaldo has taken that from Mbappe as well with an 8.3 average rating. Lewandowski's second and Diaz in third. And then Rafael Guerreiro, Christian Pulisic and Raheem Sterling all have 3 assists. Ronaldo and Ghana's Mohamed Kudus share the top spot of Player of the Match awards with 2 each. And then Mike Maignan, who's actually one of my Milan players on my save, he is at top of the clean sheet charts with 3. So all the second round World Cup games have now been played. So we'll start off with Netherlands, England. England winning 3-2 in the end, just about edging it on XG as a Raheem Sterling winner in the 94th minute that sent England through to the quarterfinals. This next game would decide who would be England's opponents in the quarterfinals, and it was a tight 1-1 draw in the end between Denmark and Mexico. Denmark actually had to play the last 10 minutes or so of extra time with 10 men because of an injury to Skov Olsen, but they managed to hold on for the draw and then won on penalties, with Højlund getting the winning penalty, but Mexico's penalties were not great. Leon and Vela both missing theirs, only scoring one of their 3 penalties that they took. So Denmark are through to the quarterfinals. Senegal managed a win against the run of play against the United States. Niang getting the only goal of the game. Serginho Dest getting injured in the 30th minute, which isn't great again for my Milan save, but we'll focus on that a different time. So Senegal are through to the quarterfinals. And very surprisingly, they will not be playing against the current holders, France, as they found themselves knocked out at the hands of Poland. Bednarek and Kaminski scoring Poland's 2 goals in a 2-0 win. But it was Theo Hernandez who was going to be the man who's going to be blamed by the French public for the side not being able to get through to the next round, as he got sent off in the 17th minute. Canada tried their best against Spain, but Spain had too much for them. They went 2-0 up. They could have been 3-0 up. Soler missed a penalty on the 36th minute. And then it was Torres' own goal that was Canada's only goal of this game. So Spain are through to the quarterfinals. And then in one of the bigger games of the second round matches, Brazil ran out 1-0 winners over Portugal, sending themselves through the quarterfinals thanks to a goal from Bremer. But strangely, neither Cristiano Ronaldo or Diogo Jota or Bruno Fernandes started this game. So I don't know what their manager was thinking. He's obviously thinking about rotation, but it's not the time to do it. And in another one of the bigger games of this round, Germany beat Belgium by 2-0, goals from Gosens and Werner, sending them through to the quarterfinals, where they would play against one of either Switzerland or Ghana. And it was in fact Switzerland that won this game 1-0, free with the goal for Switzerland, meaning Senegal are the only team flying the flag for the continent of Africa in the quarterfinals of this World Cup. And also Brazil are the only team flying the flag for South America. It's a very European-heavy quarterfinals, as we can see here. The games that are going to be played, it's England, Denmark, Brazil, Spain, Senegal, Poland, Switzerland, Germany. So Senegal, Poland means we're going to have a team that you wouldn't necessarily have expected to get to the Final Four in the Final Four stage. Is it going to be Mane or Lewandowski? We'll find out soon. But we are going to take a look, as we have been doing, just to see how it's going in terms of top goal scorer and everything. Cristiano Ronaldo is obviously no longer in the tournament, so he can't add to his 5 goals. Harry Kane is still in there, so he can. Also, Mbappe isn't either, so it's a good chance for Harry Kane to grab himself the top goal scorer award, possibly. Average rating, Ronaldo, of course, is gone, but there's 2 England players in there for the best average rating, Sterling and Walker. Assists, Raheem Sterling leading the way with 4, and then Rafael Guerreiro of Portugal and Christian Pulisic of the US on 3, but of course neither of those will be in the quarterfinal stage. And then Player of the Match awards, there's a whole host of people on 2, and clean sheets, there's a whole host of people on 3 as well. So the World Cup quarterfinals have now taken place, and we'll start with England against Denmark. England winning 2-0 in this one. James Ward-Prowse and Kyle Walker with the goals, and a good value for their lead as well. Next year, 3.5, plenty of shots on target. But who will England be playing in the semi-finals of the World Cup for the second tournament in a row? Well, the answer to that question is Brazil. They ran out 1-0 winners after extra time against Spain. Very, very tight game. And Brazil just managing to get through. So it's an England-Brazil semi-final in semi-final 1 of the World Cup. But who's going to be joining them in the semi-finals? Well, the first semi-final between Senegal and Poland ended 2-1 to Poland. Lewandowski, Poland's talisman, with a brace. And then Koulibaly got himself sent off with just under 10 minutes to go. And then Krychowiak with an own goal to give Senegal a goal. But they have now been knocked out. So Poland are the surprise team to make it to the semi-finals. At least that's what I thought until this result happened. Germany had been knocked out of the World Cup by Switzerland. Breel Embolo with the only goal of the game, and Switzerland held their own in this one as well. So I don't know what's going on. Poland or Switzerland are going to be into a World Cup final against either England or Brazil. And those 2 goals for Lewandowski in the quarterfinals actually push him up to joint top alongside Ronaldo, Kane and Lewandowski. Well, that's him in the top goal scorer charts. Ronaldo's still leading the way in the average rating, but Raheem Sterling has now got the most assists in the tournament with 4. The World Cup semi-finals have taken place, and England have beaten Brazil by 2-0. Sterling and Foden, the 2 goal scorers. England looked good value for it as well with an XG of 3.39. Brazil putting out their best 11, I would say. Jesus is there, Neymar's there. But England have made it to a World Cup final. They've gone one step further than they did in 2018 and will be playing either Poland or Switzerland in the final. And the team that they will be playing is actually Poland. Lewandowski getting another goal in a 1-0 win. Sal getting himself sent off for Switzerland. So Poland have made a World Cup final. Is this going to happen in real life? I doubt it, but it's what Football Manager's predicting. And that goal from Lewandowski means that he now tops the goal scorer charts with 6 goals. Ronaldo still leading the way on average rating. Raheem Sterling still leading the way on assists. Lewandowski has moved up to be the number 1 player of the match holder, I guess. And then clean sheets wise, Szczesny and Ramsdale of the sides who have made it to the World Cup final, both leading the way with 4 clean sheets. So if one of those can get a clean sheet, they could be the Golden Glove winner for this year's World Cup. So the third place playoff has been played between Switzerland and Brazil, and it ended 0-0. A very boring game, but Switzerland managed to win on penalties. So Switzerland are the third place team, Brazil finishing fourth in the 2022 World Cup. It's been a very odd tournament. We've got one game left in this tournament. It's obviously the World Cup final. It's between Poland and England. Have England done it? Have they gone that one step further, or two steps further, I should say, got to a final and won the World Cup for the first time since 1966? Yes, they have. They've won 3-1. Sterling, Foden and Kane getting the 3 goals for England. Lewandowski getting a consolation goal early in the second half. But England are apparently going to be world champions, according to Football Manager. There is the small consolation for Lewandowski that he does win the Golden Boot award for his 7 goals in the tournament. Raheem Sterling still topping the charts with 5 assists, and Lewandowski have been the most Player of the Match awards as well. Chesney, Ramsdale and Sommer all sharing the award for Golden Glove with 4 clean sheets. I think that's probably how it works. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are England going to win the World Cup? Is it going to be Poland in the final? I doubt both of those things very heavily, but that's what Football Manager's predicted. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. There might be some more World Cup sort of prediction videos coming out in the near future. Probably my own opinions on who's going to win and everything like that. But that is it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to get all my content when it comes out, hit the notification bell to stay notified, and I'll see you next time.